Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me this morning. And the next session on Pharynx relates to a laboratory session in which I will provide you with a specimen. The specimen will be labeled as a formalinated specimen of the pharynx with the soft palate and the tongue and the part of the esophagus to show that the pharynx continues into the esophagus and also the respiratory system. Now, this is to consolidate the knowledge that you have acquired from the lecture that I gave you, and also the knowledge you have acquired from answering the multiple choice question, and also the knowledge that you might have acquired from making a reference to the literature or to Gray's Anatomy preferably, like I told you. You will have the specimen and it will have the following labels: X, Y, Z, and also C. But the truth is, C is the same thing as Z, basically, and if you're smart, all right? It will also have the label D, and you will have a total of 19 questions, which is compulsory. The question number 20 is optional, and it will be nice for you to answer it despite the fact that it is optional, and this may assist the university in developing further in the area of electronic laboratory teaching. Now, the interesting thing about this session is that even before you see the specimen, which you will see in the audiovisual within the next 24 hours, before you see the specimen, I will let you have the answers. Let us look at the labels. The label X, the structure label X, will be the soft palate. The structure label Y will be the upper border of the epiglottis. And the structure label Z is the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. It is also at that level, the level of lower border of the cricoid cartilage, or the level of C6 vertebra, that the pharynx becomes the esophagus. So you will see another label C, and then there is a label D, which relates to the base of the skull. All right. Now, let us focus on label X, and knowing fully well that X, which is the soft palate, is the partition between the nasopharynx above and the oropharynx below. So superior to X, as question number 1 is asking you, superior to X, the structure label X, superior to the structure label X is the nasopharynx. So above the soft palate is the nasopharynx. And then inferior to the structure label X is the oropharynx. And above the structure label Y, remember structure label Y is the upper border of the epiglottis. So again, the answer there is oropharynx. And above the structure labeled Z is the laryngopharynx. And below the structure labeled Y, just to test your knowledge of answering 3, is the laryngopharynx. And then I ask you, what is X, what is Y, what is Z, and what is A? And X is a soft palate, like I said to you. Y is the epiglottis. Z is the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. And A is the piriform fossa, where the foreign body will lodge. So you see how we have done 9 questions. So don't be scared. And then I say to you in 10, what is the clinical and applied consideration for A, which is the piriform fossa? And the answer is that the piriform fossa will lodge foreign body. And the next clinical consideration is that when you try to use instrument to take out the foreign body, you might damage the nerve, which is beneath the mucous membrane, and this nerve is called the internal laryngeal nerve, leading to anesthesia of the region. And I want to say to you, congratulations. You know question number 1 to 10. So let us look. What is B? So B is basically pointing to the mucous membrane of the cricoid cartilage, a very beautiful membrane in life. And then at the level of C, and that level of C, most likely C is the cervical vertebra C6. So at the level of C, the laryngopharynx becomes the esophagus. And that takes you to question number 13. Now, on the same skull that I have depicted C, the area labeled D is the body of the sphenoid bone and the basilar part of the occipital bone. And then the question number 14, on the skull, the area labeled D is also called, now the area labeled D is the lower border of the cricoid cartilage, but that is not using the skull, all right? Now the structure labeled E is opposite, so this is number 13. Now the structure labeled D, as I told you, is the basilar part of the occipital bone. And then there is a structure labeled E, and I am not too sure what I labeled here. What is E? It is the mid-split of the posterior wall of the pharynx. So that is the mid-split of the posterior wall of the pharynx. And it's just a beautiful split. You know, I like to see it in textbook, and I like to see it in cadaver. And then how wide is the structure at the level of F? So remember that there was a question, that there was a slide in which I told you the dimension, the width of the pharynx. So at the uppermost part, it is so amount in range, and then the lowermost part, it is so. So if the arrow is pointing to the uppermost part of the pharynx, you know what it is, and if it is pointing to the lower part of the pharynx, into the junction between the pharynx, laryngopharynx, and the esophagus, you know that that is the narrowest part of the um, pharynx and the narrowest part of the alimentary canal, except for the vermiform appendix. So I will say to you that this is very interactive, it is interesting, and I really want you to do it and submit it to me um, on online. I really appreciate that. I will talk to Shanique, the IT person for the department, and see how we can give you a date so that I can mark your response or your responses. Now, um, there is a group work which is to use the pins and labels provided to point to the structure label 1 to 35 on a particular page that I'll be giving you. It is not possible for you to do that because we're teaching you online and we don't have anatomy TV. But if it was a face-to-face cadaver session, you'll be able to do 18. So I will say to you, leave question number 18 and 19 alone. And then do us a big favor, go to question number 20. And that is just like a little questionnaire. And you will be assisting us to assist you by doing question number 20. And I'm going to display to you the answer sheets for these questions. Very well. So you can see the answers that I have put there. And I will say to you that these answers are correct based on what I have told you. And I will also quickly look at the group question. So that group question, which is, I believe, 18 and 19, you wouldn't be able to do that because it's not a face-to-face interaction. And I will say to you to go ahead and do the question number 20 um, so that we can assist you in improving our online studies with you. And we do not know how long we're going to be teaching you labs online. Um, it may even take another 1 year. And so your responses are very important to us. Now, the A, B, C, D to G is also depicting where the pins or the arrows are, including the X, Y, Z. So with G, the mid split of the posterior wall of the pharynx. F is the junction between the esophagus and the laryngopharynx, and so on and so forth. So this is a fantastic session. I want you to enjoy it. And I am saying to you, if things change for good, the laboratory session, which is going to be mostly online because of COVID-19, will be improved. Don't forget to answer question number 20. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2025. My name is Dr. Christopher Ogunsalu, Senior Lecturer in the Faculty of Medical Sciences in the section of anatomy, and I have been teaching anatomy for quite a number of years, and I've also been teaching forensic, odontology, and anthropology at the same time for the master's degree students. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.